might not be from Krypton, but he's heads above the rest. His knowledge can't be questioned. You can put it to the test. So if you want to hear the truth and have nowhere else to go, I'll give you the solution. Just tune into his show and just kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most tired villain on the platform today, General Zod. I hate doing early morning streams, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to do this slightly earlier, try something different. What am I talking about today? If I sound lower, it's because the lovely bitchy unicorn is asleep, and I do not want to face the wrath. Anyways, today I'm kind of doing a semi follow-up to another video that I made. I might do a different kind of format for the series, but if you guys remember a while back, I talked about cult mentality and Nexium, which a lot of people didn't know about. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different, but it's kind of a follow-up to that segment. And I want to talk about the rise, or maybe it's always been there, the kind of narcissism behind the Hollywood mentality, behind YouTubers and various other types of individuals. So today's a bit of a different stream. Today, sorry about that, just readjusted my mic. Today, I will be talking about a few different stars. If you guys hadn't seen the thumbnail, Alec Baldwin, Ezra Miller, and of course, the whole Colleen Ballinger kind of fiasco. And I'm going to kind of get into each of their things and how this all ties together with the narcissistic view of that with these individuals I'll be talking about today. Everybody that is in this group. Hey, Christine, what's up? Good to see you here. Welcome. A little bit of an earlier stream, at least for me. So welcome to my narcissism debate, chat, whatever. The rise of narcissism. Some of these topics that I do at different times. This is not a late night talks thing. This is my own kind of personal thing. Kind of things I've wanted to do a deep dive. And in about, I'd say, a half hour, I'm going to have Books by Jay on here to kind of give her perspective on the whole thing. But right now, I kind of just wanted to talk to my own, to everybody else, as kind of like an introduction to this whole video, and kind of let you guys know what I'll be diving into today, which is the rampant narcissism of these individuals. Some of these are the worst individuals to me, who do not seem to have a care in the world about their actions and what they've done. They do apologies, they release these videos, but nobody, or in particular these stars and some of these celebrities in general, don't seem to have any kind of care about the things they've done. Uh, and it really, there's something about it uh, that really just upsets me. Um, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but it's just like the lack of empathy and caring is the thing that kind of ties these particular individuals together. Um, I'll briefly touch over Amber Heard as well, but these are all people who have extreme narcissistic personalities and tendencies. They do things that hurt other individuals, and they expect us to feel bad for them when their actions have led them to the place that they're at now. They have an extreme lack of caring. And this kind of started with me talking about Colleen Ballinger, because if you guys joined me for, I believe it was a Sunday stream, I went through her whole apology video, which I don't know why people are calling that an apology video. It's not really. I consider it a statement more than an apology. But that really got to me wanting to do something that ties everything I've talked about with Ezra Miller, Alec Baldwin, and Amber, even Amber Heard when I covered that. These people have such a sense of entitlement and just blind, I don't even want to say stupidity. It's a kind of, it's just a kind of general feeling of how important they are to this world, that they do really offensive things. They step over people. And hey, Crumble, what's up? Good to see you on the channel. Good to see you in my chat. Welcome. I know you asked me about my Nexium. This is kind of a follow-up video to that. I am going to be doing my part 2 to that, which will be dealing with Christianity and something I found interesting. So stay tuned for that video. I'll probably have Bitchy on for that. I'm going to talk about a few groups as far as that goes. But this is kind of a mini follow-up to that video. This is going to deep dive into the different controversies, but also the lack of caring for these individuals. And I'm going to play some clips, some different interviews, and kind of go over the expressions and things that these people have in these interviews, because I think the interviews and their responses mirror the type of things they're being accused of and why they display such narcissism in their views. And that's really the word. Like, in Sesame Street, the word of the day is narcissism, because that's what these people have in common. And then they come out with these statements and apologies, and in their mind, what they did was, it wasn't this big of a deal. It was a small thing, and we should forgive them, right? Because they're people. They're people. And I'm pulling a lot of this from what Colleen Ballinger put in her apology video or statement video, because it fascinates me. Because this is a lot of the same stuff that you hear in roundabout ways from different people. Well, I'm a human being. I made a mistake. And I want to clarify this one thing first, right? The I made a mistake. You hear it a lot, right? When stars, celebrities, people apologize, YouTube apologies, all of that garbage, right? Well, I'm a human being, right? I made a mistake. Now look, there are some people now being prosecuted or being condemned for things they did past, jokes they made or whatever, where they're being thrown underneath the bus for something they did 10, 20 years ago. And they have clearly changed whatever it is they do, and it doesn't reflect who they are now. And it was a sign of the times, right? 90s comedies, Dave Chappelle, um, Chris Rock, people like that, who made a lot of controversial statements. And just back in that time, that was what you did. That was comedy. And it wasn't malicious in intent. It was just a way to start a conversation. But with the climate today, people are a little bit sensitive. They're in their feelings, right? So they don't like hearing things that offend them. And that to me is different, right? I don't think someone should be condemned for a joke they made 10 years ago that even might have some relevance to the times. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about serious accusations that these people, these individuals, they sidestep questions and they try to get your mind and your focus off of the accusation that they have by saying, I'm a human being. What are you judging me? They also have reversed this cancel culture mentality or tried to use it in their own defense. What's up, Papa Cotton? Good to see you. Welcome. Kind of a follow up to my video I did on Sunday. Strap in. I'm talking about narcissism. I will be having on here in about 20 minutes or so my good friend Books by Jay, and we're going to be talking about some pretty narcissistic people and their half-assed, ridiculous apologies, statements that are supposed to make us feel better. We're supposed to get on their side. We're supposed to be the bad guys for judging them, prosecuting them. They're really the victim, right? Not the person that they did a blatant, horrible thing to, right? No, it's them. And it's not them because they feel any kind of guilt or remorse for the actions that they did against people. They truly feel they are wronged by public perception because it hurts them. And here's the dirty secret, okay? Here's what they don't want to say, but you see it every time these people apologize or release these half-ass phony statements. It's the wording, and it's really code for I lost money. I I lost sponsorships. I lost respect of people who just think I walk on water. That's what their statements really are. There's no guilt. There's no accountability. There's just, oh, I'm being attacked. Now everybody has a skewed perception of this phony facade that I put on for the general public. It's it to me is so ridiculous. Uh, so first off, let me talk with my favorite topic. Yes, they are feeling entitled, Crummel. That's exactly what it is. It's not guilt. It's a sense of entitlement, and their pride is wounded. And that's, let's be real. Every YouTuber apology, okay? You've all heard of them, the YouTube apology videos. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, all of the old school YouTubers, Orisian, Shane Dawson, these people who are first coming up, right? They get caught doing some dumb shit. So they come on and they go, guys, I am so sorry. I made a mistake and I did something terrible. And these videos and their templates are always the same, right? It's the sad look, it's the somber lighting. Sometimes they bring a fucking dog, right? So that, oh, they got a dog. They can't be that bad, right? They parade their puppy on stream and it's wagging its little tail, and it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all window dressings to deflect from something really fucked up. And it's never something like, oh, I made a joke, or oh, it was a comment back in the day. It's some really fucked up shit that they try to slide and sidestep, right? And it's all the same tactics, it's all the same techniques. So people ask me, Zod, good morning, lovely Sherry. Good to see you here. People ask me, in particular, Zod, why do you dislike Ezra Miller, Alec Baldwin, right? I talk about them a lot here on the channel. Besides the fact that Alec Baldwin is getting away with murder, okay, taking that out, there's a lot of things I grew up with that people might not know. So I pulled up a list of all of the shit Alec Baldwin has done. I just want to highlight some things because this man has been forgiven. So we're going to start off with him because I want to spend the shortest amount of time. You guys know my feelings if you've been on the channel with Alec Baldwin. But he is kind of just one of these three people who are prime examples of narcissistic personality that hasn't give a fuck since they've been famous or since they've gained any kind of fame, right? So he's a perfect example of this narcissism I'm talking about. Let me just pull up some of his scandals because Alec Baldwin has quite a few scandals that I think most of the public has forgotten. So with this whole thing of accidentally shooting someone, right? Saying I give him the benefit of the doubt for that, even though I hold him very accountable for it, even more than he holds himself, okay? let me just go over the list of things this man has done and why I have no ounce of sympathy. And I felt like he should have been crucified for half the shit he pulled back in the day that just got swept under the rug. Okay? And this was typical Hollywood behavior until people started going, hey, wait a second. This is some pretty fucked up shit that we're allowing to escape by. And then they get them later on something else that I think really isn't as bad or is far less, except for in Alec Baldwin's case. But for the most part, it's far less the problem than all the shit they pulled in their past. And this is going to swing around to Colleen Ballinger, because I'll get to her. She's a whole new. She fascinates me with. Like, she is the prototype for this narcissism. I'd say I really put her on that level of Amber Heard after that video. Just no accountability, victim blaming, gaslighting, like prime example, great candidate for narcissism. But let's go to Mr. Baldwin, because there's a couple of things I want to read off here to you that you may have forgotten or didn't even know about that Alec Baldwin has done in his life, which is why I hate him deeply. And it's not just his politics, because I've had people was that it's because he's so left leaning, blah blah blah. That's the only reason why Hollywood has saved his ass. Let's be real, for years, okay? So let's go. Let's just take a trip down memory lane. This is provided by In Touch. Okay, it's Alex Baldwin's birthday and a perfect time to look back at his biggest scandals. Okay, so in October 1995, Baldwin was placed under citizen's arrest after he allegedly punched a cameraman who was videotaping the actor's wife at the time, actress Kim Basinger, and daughter, 3-year-old Ireland Baldwin, arriving home. The Los Angeles Times reported Baldwin later acquitted by misdemeanor battery charges. And look, this one to me on the list, surprisingly, yeah, there's going to be a long list, criminal. This to me was um, actually the least shitty thing he's done. And I'll explain. Russell Crowe, if you guys don't know, has built a reputation on fighting the media. Now, when it comes to the media, I don't necessarily disagree with Alex's reaction to this. I feel like they overstep their bounds with how they choose to film and camera people's lives. This has been a long time debate. I could almost let this slide if it wasn't for all the other shit that goes along with Baldwin's personality. I just can't feel, after so many years of following these, that, oh, I could justify anything really that he does. Like, certain people I understand. Eminem has had trouble with the media. He had fans who would follow him in the bathroom. Like, this is a common thing we saw a lot in the 90s, with media and fans kind of overstepping their bounds and getting into personal lives. So, okay, Alec, I'll give you this one. It's kind of a shitty thing to do. Should he have punched a guy? No. Should he have been acquitted? And this is an issue we'll see with Baldwin, and why I'm pissed off about these gun charges, is that he has slid past what he should have been. He should have gone to, at the very least, gotten a fine or gone to jail for some of this shit. So when I say I'm pissed off about this, it is the lack of justice for damn near a decade for this man's actions. No accountability, which means when he did something serious, you could see it in his eyes. There's no accountability because he's been let go. So there's no one holding him accountable for his actions to change his behavior. And this is where the narcissism thrives, because if no punishment is dealt out for your actions or your consequences, you can't grow as a person. You could say you grew as a person, but here's the reality. If you get away with something day in and day out, you're not going to change that pattern of behavior because there's no repercussions to your actions. You just slide by. Sometimes I have to check my headphones because they tend to go out randomly, and I can't really judge until someone's talking in my ear if they're still on. So if at any point I drop my voice, just let me know. So this was October 1995. Now, this is 2007. The infamous 2007 leaked voicemail. Yes, this is where I really saw how much a piece of shit Alec Baldwin is. Now, this is his daughter, Island, or is it Ireland? There we go, Ireland Baldwin. Very pretty, as you guys can see in the picture. Very, very pretty, very nice looking girl. Okay, she seems to have a good head on her shoulders. Haven't seen much of whatever, so keep this picture in mind, right? Well, Alec got drunk, and in a 2007 leaked voicemail to his daughter, and I have a daughter, so this pissed me off, especially after my daughter was born. Baldwin, at the time, called his 11-year-old daughter a rude, thoughtless little pig. Like, look, maybe this is biased. Maybe this is biased by me because I have a daughter or because I'm a parent. But what the fuck possesses anybody to call their child, to me, disgusting names? And like, people think that this this thing I got against him is just like for this one thing. No, it's a track record. Like, he called his 11-year-old daughter a rude little pig. Like, I don't give a fuck. There is, like, you could lose your temper at your kids as a parent. Sometimes you say stupid things, but to me, there's a line, and that is horrendous. That is horrible. You are truly just nasty human being to say stuff like that to your daughter. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy dinner, Christine. Um, you know, you can pop on back through. So 2007, we have the voice leak of him calling his daughter a pig. It's crazy. It's just it's craziness to me. So, and we keep going, right? We're going all the way through. So this isn't a 2022, 2023 thing. I have gone back as far as 95. This guy has been a piece of shit. Let's go to December 2011. In 2011, Baldwin was removed from American Airlines flight after he refused to stop playing game Words with Friends on his phone. Yes, you read this right. Baldwin tweeted at the time, "Flight attendant on American remain reamed me or reamed me out for sick what? Playing words with friends while we sat at the gate, not moving. Hashtag no wonder why no wonder American Airline is bankrupt." The company said in a statement and posted on their Facebook page at the time the passenger was extremely rude to the crew, calling them inappropriate names and using offensive language. Like, bro. Hey, what's up? What's up, Tim Talks? Good to see you. Uh, Papa Cotton says, "I've had fights with my daughter. I really wouldn't love to have it publicized." That's true. But at the same time, um, I don't like when you are a celebrity, that just comes with the territory. I don't agree with releasing celebrities' personal lives, but at the same time, I think it's more of a pattern of his type of behavior. Just like with this air flight thing. Like, dude, you are on your flight. We've all seen that guy, right? The indignant asshole who's holding up the flight because they won't get off their phone when the plane's taking off or whatever. Now, the interesting part is he said at the gate. The way the airline tells it, he was on the plane. Now, that's two very different things. If you're at the gate and you're just waiting, doing a phone thing, someone says something, that's one thing. But if you're on the plane and you're just being an indignant asshole holding up the plane to play a game on your phone with friends, really? Really? How old are you? And this is another thing with him. How old are you, dude? Alec Baldwin is old as fuck. You should just know better. I mean, come on. This is some shit you would tell a teenager not to do. Uh, it's it's just that sense of entitlement. Like, oh, I'm playing a word game with my friends. They can wait for me. I'm Alec Baldwin. I just do whatever the fuck I want to do. I don't need to think about or be considerate to the people around me. And that's my focus today. It's the narcissistic behavior where we revolve around their whole world. Like they don't have any fucking sense of um they don't have any sense of decency, of caring about the people around them, of the people they hurt with their actions. And this is small. We'll build up to the big shit he's done, right? But the thing with his daughter, the reporter thing I can kind of excuse, and now we have him being a rude asshole on a plane. Like, this guy is spectacular. His arrogance, and I've seen this even in interviews, his arrogance just knows no bounds. And I'm starting off really popular. I'll go down to Ezra Miller, who I think is less popular, and then I'll dive into Colleen. But yeah. So Alec, of course, in trouble on a plane. 2013 of June, when speculation arose that Baldwin's wife, Hilary Baldwin, tweeted during James Gandolfini's funeral. Baldwin went off on Twitter. Someone wrote that my wife tweeted in her funeral in a now deleted post. Hey, that's not true. I'm not going to tweet at a funeral. Yikes. He later reportedly continued threatening tweets with messages, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, and this is what I'm talking about. This man's 0 to 60 on his reactions. Like, okay, I get it. You want to defend your life. No problem with that. But it's this like real, and this is another thing with narcissists that I'm going to point out later when we get to Colleen Ballinger. They are very defensive and go into offensive mode and attack mode instead of listening and putting out a rational human statement or doing a rational thing. Maybe go on Twitter and be like, hey guys, she wasn't texting during the funeral. It's a misunderstanding. Maybe she got a call. Who the fuck knows? I wasn't at James Gandolfini funeral. I think it's fucked up if you are tweeting during a man's funeral. But you never know. She could have been like, "Oh man, I'm totally sad. This sucks. I was sad when James Gandolfini died." That's not the issue. The issue is focusing on the narcissism. Oh, uh, it feels like, oh, you're attacking my wife. It's like you're saying I allowed this, right? It always comes back to the person. Okay, make no mistake. Even when defending people that these narcissistic assholes are close to, related to, hell, married to, it all comes back to them. How they feel like they're being personally attacked. Make no mistake, he might have been defending his wife, but I think it's more of the perception, right? Because that's what it's all about. Perception is reality. They have a perception, they have a public image. Me. Okay? It has nothing to do with the welfare of the people around them. Okay? It's their image, uh, their persona that's being threatening. And to me, that is that is the real deal. Uh, Problem. They Everything that these people do, and make no mistake, because I'm going to go through several things with these several different individuals I've chosen. It's never in the best interest of anyone around them. It's always about them. And that is by definition what it is to be narcissistic, right? You revolve around them. They do not revolve around you. They do not revolve around the moral fabric of the world. The world is spinning around them. And it's the same issue we face with people in Hollywood and why we get shitty products we do. Because these stuck up entitled people do not give a flying fuck about what other people want. It's all about them. And yes, to get ahead, you have to kind of have a bit of narcissism, right? You have to be in it for yourself, but you can also be wanting to elevate yourself and still helping others. And I know that's kind of an old fashioned view. So I'm sorry if I'm kind of old fashioned, but you can have people around you who help you out that you help out without having everything be just about you. So let's continue. Um, November 2013. So not too far off, right? Here's the interesting. Sorry about that. Here is the interesting part about this too. The spacing of these incidents are not too far away. Keep track because all of these are in short time frames, which is another amazing part about Baldwin. All right. Every few months, he always has another scandal that goes on. Welcome everybody to the panel. Jay McCarthy. Looks like Jay. Hello. We're doing the rise of narcissism. We're gonna be
Oh,
talking about all my favorites today, and we added
yeah.
in. So
Ugh,
I started with Baldwin because him to me is like the ringleader of narcissism. And I'm going through all of his incidents, and some things people might have forgotten because, like, I feel like sometimes when I talk about him, and I've had these comments in my uh, in my comments, right? Like, oh, why are you so harsh on him? Is it his political views and stuff like that? But no, going back through, I remember these articles and things wrote about him, and like this guy has always been an asshole.
hmm
Not a new thing.
Treats his wife like shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got done with the daughter who he called a pig on a voicemail. Um, so we're in 2013, November 2013. The big thing is, right? We can't say stuff about uh, the gay community. Like, right? If someone normal like me were to come out and say something, right, it'd be a big thing. Well, Alec Baldwin, my man Baldwin here. Let's see what he had to say. Baldwin allegedly used homophobic slurs during a confrontation with a photographer in November 2013 that was captured on video by TMZ. Fuck them. I don't really like them. The outlet claimed the actor had called the reporter a cocksucking faggot. But Baldwin later claimed he actually said cocksucking fathead. That doesn't matter. Like, either version. And this was what I was talking about. Narcissistic people tend to twist words or tend to make it, they do a lot of, and I was bringing up Amber Heard for this too.
hmm
It's all how they do something terrible, but we're bad for judging them, right?
Yep.
Or, no, I didn't say that. Like, look, you called someone a cocksucker. I've done it. People have done it. I've even used faggot, which is like taboo now to
hmm
people, right? Okay? We've all done it. It's no big deal. Be like, yeah, dude was in my business. They were following me with cameras. Whatever. You know, this is shit that could easily be swept over the rug, but these people all have something in common. They don't take accountability, right? We talked about that a lot. And that's going to be a theme with narcissism. Accountability. What makes these individuals different for me? And it's the lack of accountability or
hmm
even awareness that they need to be accountable.
They're so oblivious to everything and they're so delusional.
It's a diluted worldview. Like, oh, I'm a famous star, right? I'm uh, you should be honored. I came out and even said anything that
Mm-hmm.
I'm gracing you with a statement because of my greatness. Like, could you imagine you get to the level where you could do that? Just be like, do you know who I am? Fuck you. I don't gotta apologize. Like, actually, I'm Zod. That fit my personality fine. All my statements would just be like, and I'd be done.
I feel like you wouldn't even entertain it sometimes. You would just be like, this is stupid and just walk away.
Yeah, I definitely, like, I'm not saying I'd be any better. Like, ego. But I'd be upfront about it. I'd be like, yeah, I said it, fuck you. You know, like, it, don't watch me. Like, but it's not even that, because to me, that's accountability. Like, yeah, I said what I said, and I don't feel bad about it. I would respect these people a lot more if you just own it. Just be like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm an asshole. I don't care what
Exactly.
you think. You're still going to go see my movie. You know, even that I would have a respect for. But the backtracking and playing the victim, that I can't. I can't respect you, because you don't even have the decency to treat people like they understand what you said or did. You
Right.
treat people like they're stupid. So let's look at this. February 2014. A mere what? Not even a year later? A couple
Mm.
months after Dylan Farrow released an open letter to the New York Times claiming director Woody Allen had sexually assaulted her at age 7. Someone
Mm.
tweeted at Baldwin at a ABF Alec Baldwin. Don't you think maybe you owe Dylan Ferry an apology? They likely targeted the actor because he had starred in some of Allen's movies. Reported at the time, Baldwin replied, "What the fuck is wrong with you that you think we all need to be commenting on this family's personal struggle?" He continued to lash out at others, appearing to support the director in other tweets. And so, like, look, once in a while, I'm gonna give Baldwin something because I don't necessarily disagree. To me, this is just a pattern of him being an asshole. Um, in this very rare case, I will say yes, I agree with him.
Yeah,
He
what does
shouldn't
it have
fuck.
to do with him?
Yeah, he shouldn't have to fucking apologize for the Ellis. But once again, and I'll state this.
Unless he was a part of something and people knew about it and he didn't do anything and didn't take accountability. But it doesn't sound like that based on that tweet or that article.
Yeah, that's not the case. But here's the thing, and I've said this 1,000 times going through his tweets, and we'll probably say this when we get to uh, Colleen Ballinger. It's
Hmm.
not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
Narcissistic people go on the attack rather than taking a level-headed stance. So instead of clearing up their name by saying something sensible, they'll just attack.
Right.
And that's what I'm highlighting here. It's not I can't remember who said it. It was in a movie, but it's not how you say, or it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Hmm.
Hey, Monkey Jeeves, haven't seen you in a while. Says so. Alec is semi-normal when not shooting people. No,
Too soon,
no.
man. Too soon.
Go see my other stuff. He's still a dickhead. He's this is just, how does the saying go? Even a broken clock is right
Right
twice a
place.
day. Yeah. Uh, Here's May 2014. In 2014, Baldwin once again was arrested and placed into handcuffs after becoming belligerent with a police officer. I remember this one, who stopped him for riding a bicycle in the wrong direction in New York. Um, Dude, like, he's one of those assholes I've seen, and as a New Yorker, I can answer this. It's fucking annoying. Look,
Yeah.
it's New York fucking city. You can't ride a one way on a bike going towards traffic. That's what this fucking prick did. Okay, don't be that guy. And
Right.
this isn't Alec Baldwin specific. Okay, just don't be that guy. All right, stay in the fucking bike lane. But this gives you a sense of his entitlement. I'm Alec Baldwin. I can ride a
Hmm.
bike wherever the fuck I want to, and then fucking be belligerent to the police officers because I'm riding set bike in the wrong fucking direction.
Yeah.
Like, Like, Jay, you get what I'm putting down, right? This is a
Yeah, absolutely.
pattern. It's a pattern of behavior. Even if I was to say yes, it's a little ridiculous that you get written up or whatever for riding a bike in the fucking wrong direction, you douchebag. But anyways, it might be a little excessive, like jaywalking. We've all
Mhm.
done it. Once again, it's how you handle the situation. You don't fucking sass the cops because you technically broke the law.
Right.
Like, it's not responding because you're right.
Doing you
It's
no favors.
yeah, and the cops ain't gonna. They'll let you off on that if you're not an asshole. October 2018. Jesus Christ, man. This dude does not know how to space out his.
It's
Like,
because he
holy,
doesn't care.
he doesn't, and that's what I want to highlight. And I'll be bringing that up with all of these people, even
Oh,
these
happy Fourth, by
controversial.
the way.
What's it?
I said
Fuck.
happy Fourth, by the way,
Oh yeah, happy happy 4th of July, everybody. We're starting with a bang.
for the
Um,
Americans in the chat.
yes, and please don't be that asshole who shoots off the fireworks 3 days after 4th of July or a month. Please.
Yep.
I don't
Hmm.
want to hear a outside my window. I'm fucking terrified all
Yes.
hours of the night.
Sorry, continue.
Um, so, yeah, let's go on to our next Alec Baldwin scandal. 2018. In an interview published by The Hollywood Reporter in October 2018, Baldwin said, I don't know how to say this, and I don't want to get it wrong either. So this is going to be a doozy because
Oh.
everything is a minefield of bombs going off. But ever since I played Trump, black people love me.
Why is that even necessary?
God damn. Like, this man, dude. This fucking guy. Jay, you want to comment on this one? I got nothing.
I literally, why? Just why? Why was that the tweet? Why was that the tweet?
How fucking. I think I picked a good word. How narcissistic are you? Like,
Yeah.
this is peak narcissism, this man. Peak
Yeah.
motherfucking narcissism. Aaron Cooper, I'm with you. She goes, what does that even mean?
Exactly. Like that. Like I'm stunned. Like, does he not have a team of people looking over his stuff?
Dude, I think his team is all in the hospital constantly with ulcers, looking over like the Twitter and going, "Oh fuck, what did he post today?" I
Yeah.
mean, this team has got to be the most fucking anxiety-driven team
Yeah.
besides Colleen's team right now.
Oh my god. I can't wait. I can't wait till we get to the headline of this stream.
Oh, I got a video to play too, which will sum things up pretty well. By one of my favorite YouTubers. I'm gonna give her some credit. She does some good work. Uh, but yeah, like it's like, dude, peak narcissism. That one statement just proves my whole fucking point. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I talk about when I say I don't like somebody. It's not their acting. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's the public perception and how you carry yourself. We'll go into my next favorite person. Prepare for a rant for that when you know who I'm talking about. Fucking um narcissists don't space out their behavior. I had one partner for 16 years. It is normal to them.
Yeah.
Crummel, 100%. I knew someone my mom was with, peak narcissism. Yeah, they don't take a break. It's like a 24-hour fucking 7-day a week thing. It's actually quite fascinating. I wish I was like psychiatrist or something and could get into the nuts and bolts of like how fucking amazing their mind must be to just think up this crazy shit to do every day. I mean, they live exciting lives. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Your day must be exciting.
Yeah.
Monkey Jeep says I worked with Alec Baldwin on My Sister's Keeper. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether to say good for you or sorry to hear that. Like, honestly though, that's pretty cool. on the getting to work with someone, but God, sometimes I know it's like I wish there's something else. So November 18th, before his infamous shooting, Alec Baldwin was charged with misdemeanor assault and harassment after being arrested November 2nd after he allegedly struck a 49-year-old man outside his apartment in New York. There was a dispute over a parking spot. A press agent from the NYPD outlet told them the injured individual was taken to a local hospital for observation. And Jay, the amazing part that I want to highlight, the absolute fucking stunner, is that this man has still not been arrested. Fucking murdered someone, and it looks like he's gonna skate off these charges too. You heard all the shit I read.
Yep.
Does it like me baffle your mind that this man has not been arrested for any of this shit? Like,
No.
what?
Because, and here's why. Because he works in Hollywood, probably owns half of it.
Like, dude, if you or me, say you or me,
Yeah.
if we're just outside and we fought over a parking spot and put somebody in the hospital, we'd be off YouTube for a minute.
Mhm.
We'd be starting to GoFundMe, going, guys, I want to apologize to all my fans. No, so let's go to my next favorite person. You all know him, you love him. Our future motherfucking Flash God. With the movie flopping hard, hopefully they fucking finally fire him. But let's talk about Ezra Miller. And look, I'm not even gonna read shit off this fucking clown. I'm just gonna play Ezra Miller's most problematic moments.
Yeah.
Because I think these clips, and there's going to be some funny shit in between. I want to give a shout out to Mad Beefs, who uploaded some of this stuff. Look, it's gotten to 5 minutes and 32 seconds of shit that's on Ezra. Let's see our boy Ezra. Here's the most famous clip. Y'all know it and love it. This is the Flash combating the KKK. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
This is a message for the Beulahville chapter of the North Carolina Ku Klux Klan. Hello, first of all, how are y'all doing?
This motherfucker, man.
It's me. Look, if y'all want to die, I suggest just yourselves with your own guns. Okay? Otherwise, keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, and you know what I'm talking about. And then, we'll do it for you if that's really what you want. Okay. Talk to you soon, okay? Bye. Learn it.
He did the. Here's the thing. Me and Eric, me and Bitchy, actually do that whole bye thing. I can't believe this motherfucker did it seriously. Like, it is serious. Like, what the fuck? What? Yeah, I think that about sums it up. Let's.
You want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa.
Dude! Now, I just want to highlight something this clip put around. That lady didn't say shit.
It's so terrible that it almost looks like a publicity stunt.
It does. And keep in mind, people, this lady was not part of this fucking whacked out whatever the fuck was going through Ezra Miller's mind. Like, Aaron Cooper says, the Flash Goblin. Monkey Jeep says, why doesn't he go back in time and stop the KKK from ever existing?
Facts.
What's up, Tim? The ginger bear is working. I think he's in the fields of strawberries.
Or he's sleeping.
He's sleeping. Yeah, hibernation. Bears need him. So yeah, just fucking randomly chokes a lady.
Bro. That's an option I present people always.
Hi.
And always just knock you out, and then you won't have to panic.
Okay, you just gotta knock
You just let me know.
Yeah.
No? Yes?
What?
Calm down.
Like, first off, I like the music edits there. Like, so that's him, of course, causing problems. This is probably in Hawaii. I don't know what the fuck. This is some kind of bar. He literally gets pushed out of. Let's keep going.
Miller was charged with felony burglary in Vermont after stealing bottles of alcohol from a vacant home.
No honor among thieves, eh?
This incident adds to a string of other legal issues the actor has faced within the last year, including throwing a chair at a woman.
I have Ezra Miller at my house right now. We have been offering our home to him, and he came into our home and is threatening us right now. He hit me in the head with a chair, and I'm disgusted.
So do you need medical attention?
No, I don't need medical assistance. I need the police here
Yeah,
now.
so how old is he?
I don't know. He's in his 30s.
like, okay, could you imagine? Could
I
you
don't
imagine?
know. I just don't understand.
Like, okay, here's my thing. I want to call out that operator for a second. Why the fuck do you need to know how old? It's like, bitch, send the police. Are you
Yeah,
shitting me?
Fucking hit me. You can get that
You just-
information from him when you put him in cuffs.
And this is another example, because despite all this shit, Ezra just did The Flash. I just want to keep in mind why I am actively not watching this movie, because people have said, Zod, you're a DC villain, you're going to see the movie. If you don't know my stance, no. I'm not going to fucking see it on HBO. I have no interest in seeing this movie because I am not going to support someone who's a big piece of shit like Ezra Miller. To be honest with you, I'm not going to see Aquaman 2. Now, it's not just necessarily for Amber Heard, even though that plays a big part. Honestly, besides the fact she's a very mediocre actor,
Yeah.
I don't really care about Aquaman 2 because none of it matters. They're resetting DC. But a big part of that, too, is like WB putting these people in these fucking movies. Like, it costs you more money to sweep this shit under the rug
Yeah.
than it does to just let them hang for this shit. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't. The Ezra, I think that's what she said, needs to go hide under a rock. No one cares. Yeah. Like, yeah. He's got a very punchable face. Can I just say that? Like, look at that fucking stupid face. God, I hate him so much. What does he look like? I don't know. Nobody knows. Monkey Jeeves, every time we see this man, he always got some kind of fucking ridiculous look. I'm sure you guys have seen my different thumbnails. I can never capture one normal looking fucking picture of him. I don't think one exists since he's come out. He's just fucking weird. He's a weird dude.
And there's nothing wrong with being weird, but when you're problematically weird, that's the problem.
Oh yeah, and he's got big issues.
I'm 26.
Okay,
If you see them on the road, they're trying to leave our premises right now. They're driving away in a gray car, a gray truck.
okay, that's two different things. Is it a truck or is it a car?
It's a gray truck. And they are locally right now, they are located in Hilo as well. Ezra Miller is the person that is the one that was in our home. And he threw this chair at me. He assaulted me. He's in our home, and we have been here very nice to him, and he did this to us tonight.
And in case you were wondering what my first favorite chair was, it's this one.
These allegations are coming from the parents. They alleged Ezra was grooming their daughter since Takata was 12 years old.
I'd like
and here's the other part, right? Here's the other part. And this connects us to our last friend on this list, Colleen Ballinger. If you guys have ever been here on the channel, okay, and I said maybe it's my bias, right? We're both parents.
Yep.
I think groomers should be fucking burned, and I don't give a fuck what you guys like. What people, if people get offended with this statement, because I wholeheartedly believe this in my heart and soul. If we could bring back like the witch trials and burning people at a stake, all these fucking groomers should be put in that fucking pylon and thrown into the fucking fire. To me, the harming of a child is inconceivable to me. We've played this video live. I think you were with me when we played this. This
Yes.
video to me is like a fucking hostage situation. Like, it's
Yeah.
like blink twice if this is all bullshit. We even discerned like half of what she's saying feels like bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he didn't do anything wrong, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. You're not of the age
Exactly.
to make that decision. And I'm not like, look, I know there's a difference if you're in a bad living situation, you got abusive parents or whatever, you should have that say. You should be able to take yourself out of that, even if you're young. Even because you know that's not right.
Yeah.
But on the other end of that, if there is someone grooming another individual, and I guess trigger warning for everyone who gets offended by this stuff, because now you got to say that. But I'm going to be 100% real on here, because this is the issue that both Ezra and Colleen have in common. And this is why I say I put her up there with Ezra.
Yep.
They are both groomers. They both manipulate younger people to get benefits out or to get what they can from them. Now, I don't know what Ezra's end game was with this girl, but we know what Colleen was using her kids for.
Yeah.
But Ezra is still that gray area. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was looking to get out of this. I don't even know if I want to know what his end game is, because he's just so erratic. And that's dangerous, because you don't know.
He's unpredictable.
He's unpredictable. You don't know. Maybe he liked her. Maybe he thought it was right. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But the act is so wrong. And this is my reason for not wanting to see this movie. I will not support anybody who harms kids or manipulates children. I just won't. It's one of the worst things to me you could do.
Yep.
It's like people who go through SA, right? But like also a child. So you're getting into the child abuse SA kind of thing. You're scarring them from a young age, and that's going to affect everything for them growing up. It's hard enough for adults to deal with that shit, but when you're a child and you don't have the comprehension to understand what's happening to you, and then you realize it years later, that person is fucked. They have no hope. I mean, I'm not saying they can't get better. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that creates a huge barrier in their life that didn't need to be there.
Yes.
That is a lot for them to get through. Like, do you think someday Dakota, I believe Ironside, will maybe look on this and be like, holy shit, like, I was a victim. Like, what is that going to look like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially because then that ties us right into what we were talking about with Colleen, is like, she probably really idolized this person, or really thought she meant some sort of something to this dude that was trying to, I mean, it's already hard enough for a woman to attach themselves to a man. So like, I can only imagine.
Oh yeah, this is long lasting stuff, and this is my hatred towards Ezra Miller. If you hear me with my rants, I have a daughter, and she's now 16, and I don't give a fuck if it was Ezra or not. Y'all seem taken. I will find you, and I will kill you. That's a thing. I will go Liam Neeson. I have the resources to do it, fucker. No, but no. Jay knows what I'm talking about. We will do what needs to be done. But I mean, that's neither here or there. But it's a sense like, how dare you? Children should be protected. That's another thing. When he made that statement to his daughter at 11 years old, calls her a fat pig. Now, I understand releasing this voicemail was messed up. But it's the damage that's inflicted upon kids that I have an issue with. Even if we were never meant to hear that email, right, that he said, the fact remains, probably did a fucked up shit we didn't see to his own kid. And that's what these narcissists do, because whether they have kids or it's just other people they don't know, they treat everyone around them the exact same way.
Yep.
It does not matter who you are. And it's not to say a narcissistic person can't have any feelings. They're not serial killers. That's not my point. It's that they get in the way of themselves. So people around them are always going to be collateral damage, because when it's all about you, you don't give a fuck about anybody else. Even your kid. And we see this with Amber Heard, right? Perfect fucking example. I feel like that kid's just a fucking accessory bag. That's just really like, look at me, I'm more human. You should care because I'm a mother. Bitch, that doesn't mean everybody should be a mother.
Well, and just because we get back into the Colleen stuff, one of the things between her and Adam McIntyre was he had said something to her to the effect of like, what if your kid was going through what you're putting me through right now or whatever? And so then of course she is like, oh, he's bringing my kids into it, he's dangerous and blah blah blah, but like that's not at all what he was saying. He was saying that like,
no, that's an honest question. Given the fucking video she released, what would you do if your kid was in that situation? The bigger question I think that he was driving towards is, would you care if your child was in my situation? Which of course, like we said, narcissists, right? So they don't process it like that. They process it like, you're attacking me. You're attacking my child. You're attacking my lifestyle. It's never about what they do wrong, God forbid. So let's finish this hostage video real quick.
To say that it's nobody's business.
It is, bitch. You're not
and that no one is owed a story.
That's my first reaction. Like,
or an outcome.
It is. You are not.
This is my life. These are my decisions. And I'm disappointed in my parents and the press.
Like, look at how she's almost like looking up. When we did this, when we analyzed this before, right?
What the fuck's cracking with it, my nigga? This your boy. Eat that pussy 445. Coming at your little hoe ass mother.
Oh wow, that was a weird edit.
What's up, Siri? How's that?
Ezra Miller, this is on the warrants, but he's calling.
We watched this video.
Assaulted in this bar twice in a row. I film myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art. What's your name?
Oh my god.
Tell me your name and your badge number. What key?
Ezra.
Full name, full badge number.
131.
I mean arrested for disorderly conduct?
Yeah.
I was assaulted. You understand, right?
Okay. Like, do we? Okay, I can only watch so much. Like, do we really? We don't need to go on.
Yeah,
he's legendary at this point.
Yeah.
Look, Monkey Jeeves. I agree. Nobody wants NFTs. Hashtag cancel Ezra Miller. like, it's just like that. Like, okay, I will give Ezra one thing. Out of the people I've shared so far, I would say Ezra may have actual psychological issues. Like, I believe wholeheartedly, and I want to switch it up a little bit. The sad thing is, maybe this man does need help. And because of his status, he's not getting his help. Who knows what Ezra might be like if he got mental help. Just because of the wide range of things he says, it's almost like somebody who has a dual personality or stuff. Because I've seen stuff, too, where he's seemed to be like a somewhat normal person, right? And if that is the case, I will never scale back everything I've said, but I will take that into an account if he was to seek out help, like real professional help. And they were like, yeah, this man has schizophrenia or something like that. I'd be like, okay, well, at least you're making an attempt. But here's the thing. He has that chance. He says he's getting help. I do not fucking believe him, because now there's stuff coming out on the Flash set that he was extremely hard to work with.
I can only imagine.
Fucking Ben Affleck came out and said he's a weird dude.
And he never talks about anything.
He never says anything about anybody. They asked him, and it was a Ben Affleck answer. Very calm, sitting on couch, just like, yeah, he's a weird dude. And that was it. But for Ben to comment, like, you gotta be fucking weird if, like, Ben worked with Matt Damon. God only knows the shit Matt Damon has said through years, and they're best friends. So, Ben has heard some outlandish shit in his day.
I don't know anything about Matt Damon, so you'll have to tell me that a different day.
Yeah, a different day we'll dive into Matt Damon. I'm 50-50 on him.
My biggest issue with Ezra Miller is he reminds me of my brother. And my brother is somebody who has DID. And he has different personalities and he has different, things. And my biggest issue is, like, when I see Ezra Miller, it just makes me so sad because I'm not in a good place with my brother right now. And he went through this. I don't know what's going on. But basically, you know me. You've known me for a while. You know the type of person I am. I'm pretty much the same person offline. And I know all the time, but, whatever. And he came and he stayed with me multiple times, and it always ends in disaster. And this last time I had to, like, cut those ties because he stayed with me. Crazy things happened the way they always do. And then it turned into him went to TikTok and was trying to tell people that I was neglecting and starving him while he was staying with me. And so then he ended up staying with my friend for a little while. And then 2 months in, he ended up kicking himself out. My friends never asked him to leave, but because my friend's husband raised his voice an octave, now my brother is going around saying that he's been assaulted and he needs help and all this stuff. And honestly, I have no idea where he is now. I have no idea if he's okay. I have no idea if he's alive. I have not seen or heard from him and probably never will again. And so when I see Ezra Miller, that's what my immediate feeling is that he absolutely is somebody that needs help, and he absolutely is somebody that needs compassion. That does not excuse what he's done, obviously, but so I get really sad when we talk about Ezra Miller because that's what he reminds me of, is just somebody who's lost in the system with all the fame and power and everything and no help. So
the sad part about it is, too, and in all jokes aside, I do have a seething hatred for Ezra Miller because of the child thing, but I am level-headed enough to recognize he does fit the class of narcissism because it was bred into him from being a star. I 100% believe that. When you get into the Hollywood system, they all get this little narcissistic thing. Very few of them are not narcissists. I do think, though, there is a level, and this has happened with a lot of actors. We see it with child stars all the time.
Yeah,
there's a level of help that is needed that people will never get, because when you're that rich, you're under the assumption money can cure the issues going on in your head, and that's just not the case. You need medication. You need to talk to somebody. You need to get the shit out. And if you have nobody telling you that, you kind of just do things on your own, but you're not in the right headspace to do things on your own. I like to think you and me, we have a good support system around us. So when we get a little fucking crazy, we got someone going, hey, chill the fuck out, get it together. But these people don't have that. Now, one of the fundamental differences between an Alec Baldwin and an Ezra Miller is Alec Baldwin is goddamn near 60s. He's been in the game for a long time. He has no excuse. It's just entitlement. Ezra, to me, rides that fine line of, if he got mental help, I'd have to see what kind of a person he would turn out to be actually getting help. Because maybe we'd see a different side. Maybe we'd see what he was supposed to be. Maybe he's a fucking chill, cool, awesome guy.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, too, you have to want your help,
Yes.
and you have to reach out for it. And he is not attempting to do that. Even if you have issues, a part of you does say, like, hey, I need help, or nah, I'm fine the way I am. Even there is some kind of self-realization. And then the step is, okay, I try to act out to get people to get me that help. It might not be the right way. But for me, it even appears to me he doesn't want to seek that. He's just constantly doing shit and acting out with no general direction of anything. And I'd say his situation's a little bit sadder, but like you said, it doesn't excuse what he does. And it doesn't excuse him grooming someone, because now, wrecking your life is one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
We can give that. There's been plenty of redemption arcs of Hollywood stars that have fucked up their, like, look at Robert Downey Jr. Him, to me, is the greatest success story of seeking help and staying on the right path. He was a hardcore alcoholic, really fucking bad, and now he hasn't drank in years. He's fit. He's donated millions of dollars to centers to help people with alcoholism, like he had. He goes to those centers and visits people.
Right.
And so you can do that. It's you got to want to.
You got to do the work. You got to do the work, and you got to find your path. So, and
now let's talk about somebody who will never find their path. So I'm going to pull up a video by a great content creator. I've followed her for a while. She is called Cruel World Happy Mind. She does a lot of these kind of expose pieces. I kind of skipped through the video because it's long, and I just want to highlight some points she brings up, because she is the type of person who talks about everything that's going on and then kind of gives her thoughts at the end. So this is going to be a synopsis of the situations. She'll bring up all the stuff with Adam. She's very good at these kind of investigation things, and this will kind of add another layer of the shittiness that is. Oh my God. So Colleen Ballinger, if you don't know, we did a video on Sunday. Go watch that video. If you can suffer through the song.
Yeah, you saw a side of Jackie you probably haven't seen in a while.
So, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Good point, Aaron. Robert Downey Jr. was trafficking cocaine in the 90s. Well, to be fair, cocaine's a hell of a drug. In the 90s, I'm not saying I ever did the stuff, but I lived in New York, so use your imagination. There's probably very few things besides, like, the really hard stuff I haven't dabbled in. I'm not saying if I have or not, but coke's a hell of a drug.
Get off this topic before you get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, hashtag cancel Zod. Yeah, keep in mind I was a teenager, you fucking Twitter warriors. If you tell me you haven't done shit, I'm gonna call you a fucking liar. But anyways, no, so let's talk about Colleen and her shit. This is quite fascinating.
Colleen Ballinger is mainly known online as her character Miranda Sings.
So that's the lipstick. It always goes above and below. Give a signature smile.
A gimmick she started around 2008 that went on to accumulate millions and millions of followers online. She also has a personal channel under her real name where followers could subscribe and get to know the real her. Once Colleen started having children, she started posting more on her Colleen Ballinger channel and her vlogging channel, and less on the Miranda Sings channel. Colleen was known to be relatively controversy-free, especially when she stopped posting as much Miranda Sings content and branded herself as more of a mommy vlogger. The public perception was that Colleen Ballinger had a relatively clean brand.
So I want to stop right there. The common perception, and this is a big thing, if you guys aren't in the YouTube space, even myself, Jay, maybe to a small extent yourself, right? There is a perception that's put on. I'm the villain. I'm brash. You invite me, you get what you get. I don't give a shit. But
I'm
I'd
everyone's
like to.
favorite protagonist.
I'm everyone's favorite antagonist. And here's the thing. A lot of the times, even for myself, I will admit, and if you talk to Bitchy, I can be an asshole in real life, like very blunt. And when I talk to my daughter, I soften the edge, but I like to keep it blunt with her too because I want her to know the reality of the world.
Mhm.
I've always been a blunt person. It's who I am. But when you go on YouTube or you go on these platforms, we amplify it or we lean more into that to create a persona. Now, keep in mind, this does not reflect who we are as people. It's just something you create because you have to have separation between the people you talk to and who you really are. And I want to highlight that because key note here, she created a PG-13 image, my mommy vlogger. So, despite what she says in that video, the image she wants to obtain, the thing she's putting out to the world is she is wholesome, right? And that's what I'm gathering is that it's a wholesome image. Okay? So when you create that persona, every persona comes with an expectation to what your content is going to be. People log on here, I'm gonna be fucking raw. I'm gonna swear, I'm gonna curse. I'm not for kids. And I know that. And I don't market myself as that. I am even skeptical. I do tell my daughter, like, hey, some of these streams are not for you to watch. You know what I mean? Don't, like, just because I say something, don't copy it, okay? This is just what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, there's that separation from my personal life versus my YouTube life. But I never market myself to other people anything other than what I am. I am an R-rated channel. I go into it, and that is what I expect people to know when they come on here. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to use soft language. Sometimes I might say some outlandish shit, Phoebe, or you will stop me before I get too into myself. Jay, the image you have, right? What is your image? Because I've been on your channel. I got a rough idea, but what is your image that you create for yourself?
I try to cultivate a peace, calming, kindness, like mental health, like safe place. Between my writing and the podcast I want to start and stuff like that, I definitely I market myself as 18 and older, just because I do talk about a lot of triggering topics sometimes. But my biggest thing for me is I cultivate this is the shit that I'm going through, and this is how I'm coping with it. And I try to be like I kind of look at myself as like an advice column for like people. If I'm not talking about writing, I'm talking about this is the issues that I'm facing and this is how I'm dealing with it. And I try to, it's definitely a safe space of light and kindness, I believe, is kind of what I aim for, at least.
And like, now here's the thing. I talk to Jay when we're done, like offline. I can tell you right now, she is the nicest person you'll ever meet. She is literally probably the only like balanced person we have on or chill, besides maybe Chillmonger, but that's in his name. We're pretty wild. And Jay has always been the level-headed comment, unless we're talking about people like Colleen Barringer, then she'll get a little bit into it. But so what we create is not necessarily not our personalities, but we lean one way more or the other to give you guys entertainment. So this is important when we dig into Colleen, because keep in mind, the perception is supposed to be this mommy vlogger. I'm good for all people, right? But the reality is much more sinister. Ooh,
Yes.
that was good.
Write that down and put it in your book.
Next week, no.
Tomorrow, when we do our writing stream.
Be nice to people, had tons of YouTuber friends, and didn't create any drama.
She's so good at being nice to like.
Okay, so remember you were asking me about Shane Dawson. This is Shane Dawson.
Okay.
Shane Dawson, if you guys don't know, go watch June the King. He is a great YouTuber who does specifically videos on YouTubers, and he calls it the fall of so-and-so. And he does their YouTube career, what they were like, and the different controversies that caused them to either lose subs or change what they do or have to pivot to something else. Shane Dawson is an interesting case because when he started out on the platform, it was what we like to call the Wild West days of YouTube. You could say anything, do anything. He did blackface, tons of shit, okay? Shane Dawson has had some fucking controversy. The main difference that separates him from these other old school YouTubers, and even to an extent Logan Paul, Jake Paul, I don't give a shit about your feelings about them because I fucking hate them, okay? No matter how you slice it, they're still good at marketing. They have pivoted themselves to kind of fit the way that things have gone. They've been able to survive what we like to call the apocalypse of YouTube when ad sponsorships came and started doing much needed cleanup, to be honest, of people's content. Now they've gone too far the other way, but that's a topic for another day.
Another video.
That's another. God, I've got so many videos I can do on these subjects, but
I feel like we need to just start like a talking shit segment. That's just what we need to do.
yeah, just go into every direction. So Shane Dawson he himself is very much preserves his own thing. Now, what he says about Colleen is important because Shane Dawson has stabbed a lot of people in the back. You do that when you have millions of subscribers to get where you're at. These people are cutthroat. And what he says about her is quite interesting because how he words it is very surprising coming from him, considering the shit he's done. So let's just listen. I just wanted to set up the context.
She'll do collabs with every YouTuber, and they think like, I'm like Colleen's best friend, and then we get together. I do the same thing, but then we get together. And, oh man, they only knew.
But little did
see, and that's Shane Dawson's thing. He's done collabs with tons of people on YouTube, and he recognizes it because he's the same way. He is the biggest and the first person to turn on you with any controversy to how do I put it? To lift up his platform. He has stepped over a lot of YouTubers to do this. So for him to say, if you only knew, that speaks volumes because, you know, cutthroat people recognize. And for him to not want to cross her, that's only the beginning.
Everyone know, allegedly, not only was Colleen gossiping about other YouTubers behind their backs the entire time, at least according to Shane Dawson, but a red flag should have been that Colleen was friends with a lot of problematic YouTubers like Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson.
Colleen is the best. She is the most hateful, shadiest. I love her.
On top of that, Colleen was acting inappropriate with her child fans the entire time she was in the public eye. There were some subtle clues of this.
Because this is gonna sound so creepy. My answer is so creepy. This is gonna sound so bad. I can't admit this. This sounds so pedophileish. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. It leaks so much like a little girl's.
The public really didn't know about this until former fan Adam McIntyre went public with this information in 2020, backing up a lot of his claims with evidence.
In 2016, Colleen and Corey were doing a live stream and they stumbled across my Twitter account. They found my Twitter so funny that they said they needed to send me bra and panties. So I still have this. My mom kept it. I didn't even see these because my mom had just taken them away because she was so shocked. So...
But the allegations completely fell on deaf ears and were largely drowned out by a ton of backlash from the Miranda Sings fandom.
Me, my family, my animals, my friends are all being threatened because of Colleen Ballinger and her actions. It happened to me in 2020, whenever I was like a 17-year-old kid, and I had to deal with it then. none of the people got any repercussions.
But now, 3 years later, inspired by another YouTube video exposing Colleen and her fandom, Adam has spoken out again in public videos. And Adam's videos have encouraged more and more people to speak out about the mistreatment of Colleen Ballinger against them when they were still minors. And it seems like there's no end in sight. More and more people are sharing their stories, and the backlash is mounting.
And now here's the thing that I like to post. We're seeing this with God, I always forget the dude from Marvel who plays King. God damn it, it'll come back to me. But there's some people who get backlash, and people come out of the woodwork with no real proof. It's just a pile on. Keep in mind, the people who are coming out, there's videotapes. There is evidence of this uncomfortableness that Colleen is putting on these kids at live events, streams. This shit is out there in the world. Now, some of the videos have been taken down or removed, but it doesn't matter because people have clipped them or whatever else. So the evidence exists. There is physical, tangible evidence. And that's the difference. These are not wild claims like her apology or her statement would say, right? We listened to that bullshit, and she was saying, the toxic gossip train. I heard that's your favorite song. Did you download that to fall asleep to?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fucking ukulele. No, this is the thing. It's one thing to come out and say this is all talk or whatever, but as I said in that video we did, there's receipts. There's a big difference when there's receipts.
So many. And
so much.
It's not just people have screenshots of their conversations. This is live shows that have been recorded showing this distasteful shit. It's not just oh, they can manipulate these text messages. They can manipulate those photos. No, it's legitimate live action. Ugh.
Welcome back. Papa Cotton changed locations, and Aaron Cooper says effing ukulele. Papa Cotton just thought she should be convicted off the ukulele. So, I mean, and I agree. That's the most, I'm not going to lie, I still maintain that's the most unique way I've seen someone defend themselves, besides interpretive dance. They're both up there on what I was not expecting when watching a video.
What Adam has spoken about in terms of what happened with his situation with Colleen, I think what hit me so hard is just realizing how many similarities I've had with her. I was 15 years old when all of this started happening.
And the stories are absolute.
That is a friend of his, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So these are friends, people in the inner circle. We're now getting into, these are people who have had interactions. These aren't just people coming out of the woodwork. They're fans of hers. They've been on streams, whatever.
Yeah.
Papa Khan said that's a lot of jewelry. Yeah, doing all right for himself. I respect the hustle.
Appalling. But before you can really even grasp the magnitude of what Colleen has done to her fans, you have to understand how massive Colleen's career has been. The story of Colleen's rise to fame is almost as fascinating as her massive downfall, considering how many clues are hidden in plain sight as to her true nature and true intentions.
I can't admit this. This sounds so stylish because I
know about that.
I mean, really, her treatment.
What?
I didn't even know about that video labeled that with the P word. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it from other YouTubers. That's why I wanted to play her video, because she's very good at digging up all these different things. And hey, happy 4th, Jane Creek. Good to see you. Oh, thank you. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, the Jonathan Majors situation was what I was talking to. No, Papa Cotton, cruel world. Happy mind is actually, yeah, I know. I guess that's personal preference, but she's pretty cool. The head bobbling is disturbing. No, I've watched a lot of her videos. The reason why I'm using this as a reference is because she really dives deep. She finds shit that even most people wouldn't have seen. She's very thorough in her research, so I figured it was a good way because she even pulls up stuff you may not have seen. There's a lot of things. So,
Of fans, and some of the creepy things she has done have been there the entire time. On top of that, Colleen has been branded as a nice and good-natured person. So it's been shocking to hear people's accounts of her being a truly mean-spirited person.
She is the most hateful.
But even when you hear about the inspiration of Miranda, you can see her mean-spirited nature was sort of there all along. And it's not like she ever really tried to hide it. So let's start Colleen's story by discussing her rise to fame.
and
Most
some of
people
this,
have no clue
some
that
of
in
the stuff. Oh,
2023,
sorry,
the best
ads.
way to make
God,
money on Amazon
thank
is
you,
not. It's
YouTube.
physical.
Thank you. I don't want to go through like all of it, but
Usually memes are
so
or
this is
reads
just
her
like,
hate mail with her famous catchphrase, haters back off.
If you're a hater, this song's for you.
oh god, she
Colleen
is
based
so
the
fucking
character
annoying.
Miranda Sings partly on some of the YouTube videos that she saw of arrogant singers who thought that posting on YouTube was going to make them famous, but they were just really bad singers.
I was posting like random YouTube videos of me singing, and then I saw like related videos of like these teenage girls posting the same songs that I had sung in performance, but alone in their bedroom. Acapella, changing lyrics and doing whatever they wanted with them. And they were terrible, but they were so cocky. And on their YouTube pages in their profile, they'd be like, I'm doing this to become famous. And I was like, that's so ridiculous. No one gets famous from YouTube. And
Justin Bieber, but whatever.
Right. Well, exactly.
She also based the character on some young woman she knew in the performance department of her college, Azusa Pacific University. She told the Times of London there were a lot of cocky girls who thought they were really talented, and they were so rude and snotty it drove me nuts. Then I saw all these girls trying to make a career out of putting videos on YouTube, clueless to the fact they were terrible. So basically, the entire character of Miranda Sings was created to make fun of women who thought they were good at singing, but who Colleen actually thought were terrible at singing. And Miranda Sings was Colleen's way of embodying all those women and making fun of them, basically telling them how silly of you to think that you're going to post on YouTube and get famous for it. I'll show you. I'm going to post on YouTube making fun of you, turn that into a gimmick character and get famous off of that. I mean, isn't that so mean? The Miranda.
So yeah, when you think about even the way she got her fame, the whole thing within itself is just mean spirited. Just oh my god, it's literally my title. It's the peak of narcissism. It is peak narcissism because you are taking a thing that people want to do, right?
Yep.
And we've come across people who think that they're far more talented than they really are. But there's a difference between grouping a bunch of women you knew and grew up with in that category. That makes you vain because you're saying, oh, you're not talented, and I'm going to become famous by showing you how stupid you look with this character to millions of people.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do interviews and throw it in your face about how you're a failure and I succeeded by pointing out your failure. Like, in a sense, mad genius and also very narcissistic. Very. It's very. The whole thing is born out of arrogance and narcissism. So this is just kind of like her getting famous. I'm not going to go into everything. here's just some career stuff I want to go into. Hold on a second.
Important to bring up because Colleen became this rich off of the devotion of her child fans. Her child fans, the children that bought her books, the children who watched her YouTube videos, watched her Netflix shows, the children who bought her tickets or asked their parents to and went to her live shows.
And I wanted to play this part because I want to highlight something. Like, look at all these people, and I could tell even with the faces blurred or whatever. These are kids. You could tell by their voice. These are not even. They might be bordering on like 16, 17, whatever.
Yeah.
She made this character and marketed it despite her intentions and saying PG-13. That's a big thing, right?
Yeah, because it's easier to break into the kids' YouTube world than it is the adult YouTube world.
My God, how long it took me to just get 1,000, and I was happy with that. And it is because my videos have a harder time hitting the algorithm, getting pushed out because it's adult content. I have inherently limited my base, but I've limited my base for a reason, because of the fact that I'm not geared towards children, right? We got a slower climb. But she broke into that market knowing it's a fast track to getting these young followers who will follow you blindly. And to an extent, Logan Paul and Jake Paul have done the same thing, right? Half of their fan base, not so much now. And I'll give them credit. They've really pivoted out of that and got an older audience with the UFC and boxing.
Yeah.
So, I guess good on you. But in the beginning, their stuff was all towards like the bro, young teenager crowd. They were doing some pretty outlandish shit.
Yeah.
And they really encouraged their audience to do crazy shit. A while back, I can never remember which is which, but I think it was Logan Paul maybe did that shit with Japan and the suicide cemetery and filmed the dead body. So there's that.
Hi, Cement Shoes.
Hey, Cement Shoes, what's up? There's that lack of boundaries that is common with these narcissistic type YouTubers or even Hollywood stars. Even an Alec Baldwin or Ezra Miller, right? Ezra Miller got a fucking, what was her age? 13, 14-year-old girl defending him. So it's still this targeting a younger type audience to get that revenue.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like when you're a kid, and for the most part, not everybody, because everybody's situation is different, and people do grow up in toxic households. But for the most part, when you're put yourself in your kid's shoes, and you think up until a certain age that your parents know everything, and you blindly support them, you blindly follow them. Again, I know not everybody's like this, but like for me, my dad ran our house like a military house because he was a military man. And so I thought everything was going as it should. I blindly followed whatever path my parents set me on for the longest time until I finally woke up one day and realized I'm my own person. I can do my own thing. But
happy 4th, Cement Shoes, to you too. And yes, I do think he's a piece of shit for that. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, I was just saying, but up until that point, like I blindly made excuses for any negative behaviors that they might have exhibited. I blindly supported and trusted and believed everything they said to me because they were my parents. Like it's the same situation. That's the environment that Colleen has cultivated, is this motherly, silly, fun figure that people want to flock to, and they don't realize it's bad.
Yeah, and they won't until they grow up because half her audience is not at all anywhere near that point. And it's actually the perfect shield until now because it keeps her insulated in these, I don't want to say stupid, that's the wrong word, blind, I think is the better words. It keeps these blind, devoted people just constantly following her.
But the thing is, this tight relationship with fans, this level of dedication is something that Colleen learned how to manipulate and how to take advantage of, all for her own personal gain. And she learned how to abuse it in really sick ways. And recently it all came to light and her public image completely shattered. And this is where things become really twisted. So trigger warning.
They say seeing is
Oh my
believing,
God, I
but with
hate
Stearns and Foster,
YouTube's
that's only
ads.
part
I
of
swear
the
to God,
story.
I had
He
ad
handcracked
free,
every
but you know. Okay, so now we're going to get into the controversies and buckle up.
Colleen
I will
Ballinger
cover
has
all
been
of this.
accused of
She goes into
manipulating
everything.
and bullying underage fans. But the thing is, the allegations that came out this year in 2023, Adam McIntyre had already tried to bring public in 2020.
Looking back as a 17-year-old, I'm just really disgusted at the
And in 2020, if most people don't know, there was an actually genuinely, a genuine, well, as genuine as I'm sure she gets, apology video, which nobody knew about until you go back. But she did release a video in 2020 addressing this and kind of it was manipulation because she kind of turned it back on Adam McIntyre. Like, look, I don't really know him. I know some people don't like him. I don't know why. I don't know what his background is, but I do know he has receipts and proof.
Yeah.
So what he's saying about her, whether you agree with the content he makes in this particular situation, what we're covering, what we're talking about, he is 100% on point, has proof. And that's all that matters because I don't care about the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And I would even say if there's anything that rubs people the wrong way, well, look at the situation he was in.
Yep.
It took 3 years, and it was 3 years of bullying him, his friends, and his family. And look, I don't care if you don't like someone or not.
Yeah.
Unless they've been a douchebag and I don't have a reason to really say, oh, kind of defend the person, I don't see any reason why there was ever a good excuse. Because this is 3 years ago, right? And he was like, what, 16, 17? Now he's in his 20s.
Yep.
This is 3 years of abuse this poor kid went through. To only come out 3 years later that he was fucking right about everything he put out.
Yeah. So the channel I shared yesterday or whatever day it was, I think it was yesterday, that we talked about this. I had posted in the chat a link to Swoop's video on this. She did a really good documentary on this whole situation. And one of the things why people think Adam is problematic is because he mentioned in that video clip we saw earlier, he was saying that he never actually saw the bra and panties because his mom took it away when it came in the mail. Well, apparently that's not true because apparently there's a phone call with him wearing it or something. I don't know. But regardless of maybe he did lie, maybe he didn't remember, whatever, the fact of the matter is that does not dilute what he went through. That does not change the fact that he has the receipts to back up the things that he was saying, even though he might be semi-problematic, but he was also a child.
Yeah, and hi, Hen, that's a good segue. And Hen even adds to that point. He was a child when she started abusing him or abusing her power over him. And yeah, that's still the case. And look, if you go through trauma or any kind of situation that traumatically impacts you, you might not remember events or misplace things in your head because there's so much shit going on in your mind. And I've dealt with this with the death of my friend and a friend I lost while I was in. And I had lost two good friends. One took his own life. One was in the line of duty. And those things, every year, it kind of gets harder to remember specific things about the events. I know specific feelings, place where I was, but how the chain of events all took place becomes kind of foggy because your mind, as a self-defense mechanism, tends to start blocking things out because it's the most painful part of your life that you are actively trying to protect you. Your mind is trying to block that out because it doesn't want to remember that. And I think most people don't realize that any person who goes through abuse and these things, like, your mind is going to try to defend the body because these things weigh heavily on you. And the best way for people to be able to cope with that is to blank it out, or to have things obscured, or, hell, you self-medicate too. I drank heavily in the days when I was in, you know what I'm talking about, a lot of people in the military. I don't know if you did, but I know a lot of people in my unit and people I worked with. Drinking was one way you dealt with all of the shit going on in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It's a coping mechanism. So I'm going to play a little bit more while I get my coffee. So if I go into bubble mode, I'm not gone, people. I'm just, it's fucking early. So let's continue, because this gets really interesting. And this is a bit of a long section, but I want to play this whole controversy thing because there is so much shit here. This is much more than just his stuff too. This is everything. This is her live shows, everything. There's a bunch of shit in here.
The situation.
But fans had suppressed through a wave of backlash and bullying against him.
It's now been confirmed that she was on a smear campaign of me.
So let's bring it back to 2020 and the original video that Adam posted. 3 years ago, I posted a video titled Colleen Ballinger, Stop Lying, in which I described the emotionally abusive end to my friendship, not a real one in theory, with YouTuber Colleen Ballinger. The video response was quickly turned against me, and I was villainized and bullied for 3 solid years, which takes a lot of bravery to make a video calling out someone that has tens of millions of fans backing that.
10 million.
Back in 2020, when Adam McIntyre made this video, Adam said he first discovered Colleen Ballinger as Miranda Sings in 2012 and instantly became a fan of her, but he was a very young child at the time. He claimed that in 2016, he and Colleen Ballinger started talking on a more personal level and became good friends at the time. Adam was 13 and Colleen Ballinger was in her 30s.
My parents started getting a little bit more cautious and were wondering why a 30-year-old was talking to, at this time, a 13-year-old.
So already,
Thank goodness
Adam
his parents
was
were
13
self-aware
years
enough.
old, and Colleen Ballinger was in her 30s, and there is proof of them talking on a friendship level. What? I mean, I understand being nice and polite, but to talk on any personal level beyond that?
Mm-hmm.
What? So in this video, Adam calls out Colleen.
I always love her responses because she's a very chilled content creator. So, yeah, that's true. Like, look here. And I've looked at my analytics, I can tell you right now, besides the little dictator, I don't have younger people or in that age range who watch my stuff. But let's say hypothetically,
that pisses me off. She knew. She knew.
She knew. So here's the thing. Let me, just us as level-headed, clear-thinking adults, right? What would be the extent of a relationship you would have with fucking a kid? Like, say for instance, we blew up, right? We're in the millions, and we got some young people, and they want to contact you, right? Because that happens, or they want to send you a DM or whatever. I've had people send me shit, which, thank you, GP, if you listen to this. Great dude. Love Generation Productions. But, I've had people send me shit. No big deal. We're all adults, and I appreciate it. I had a GoFundMe. Thank you for everyone who participated in that. They helped me and bitchy out in a rough time. So there's been that kind of level of interaction. So I fully understand that. What I don't understand, what I can't back up, is anybody who would have contact with kids. To me, a relationship with kids should only go so far. Like DMing someone or saying hi to a fan, making their day, you know what I mean? Going like, hey, I saw your message, cool. I'm glad I inspire you. The normal generic response. I understand that. Maybe on Twitter, you say something to them in a thread or something. That's normal. But you fucking call a kid? That's weird. That's fucking
And not
weird.
only that, like talk about your divorce and your sex life and talk about your personal life and stuff like that. If I had young fans that contacted me, I would not go that far. I mean, I would chat like the, niceties that you would have, but like I wouldn't ever. So the type. Okay, this is the type of person I am. So last night we went to the fireworks, right? It was me and my 2 older children because my toddler was not about it. So it was just us, and we were hanging out. And there was a group of girls, and they couldn't have been more than 12, 13, 14, maybe 15. Who knows anymore in this world? But they were walking around, and I had seen them come across. I was sitting on my blanket, and I had seen them come this way, and I was just kind of smiled at them, and then I went back to what I was doing. Well, they approached me, and they're like, "Do you have water?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" Because I didn't realize that they were talking to me. And they were like, "Do you have water? Can I have some water?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely." And I got in my cooler and I gave them some water, gave them some Gatorade, gave them some snacks, and then they went on their way. That was the extent of the interaction. And my kids were like, "Oh, that was cool." And I was like, "Well, obviously there's these young girls walking around without their parents in this giant park as it's getting dark. Like, I'm going to give them something." But that's the extent. Like, I wasn't just like, "Oh, who are you? How are you? What's your name?" Like, I didn't like, "You want water? Sure. I'll give you some water." Like,
I think Aaron Cooper has a great point here. Be polite and answer their questions, but not friendships or trauma dumping. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because like here, I'm part of group chats and stuff on Twitter. I think you and me are. We talk to people who are on this show or who have been on our show outside of here about some deep stuff people might be going through. But we're adults, and that's on a different kind of thing. You want to interact like that, and even that comes with its own like very sticky to navigate territory. You still got to be careful, even when interacting with adults. So just imagine kids. That is a whole different minefield. And here's another example. I was a martial arts instructor, as everyone knows. I have students who have my number. They have called me, but their parents know, and it's been to ask me kind of, because as a sensei, you're kind of like a guidance for your students, even when you're off the clock, which is why it's so difficult. I had to watch a lot of things I was doing, right? Drinking outside in case a parent saw me and things like that. But I always had my interaction, and my master used to tell me this all the time. The parents were always involved in the process. I've had people come to my job and visit me, but their parents brought them, and they just wanted to see me because the school closed down. They wanted to say hi. They knew I work at the mall, so they come. One of the students I personally trained, I've talked with her a little bit, and she has a really sad situation. Her mom passed away, and I from cancer, and I kind of got a little bit of a close bond with her because she was one of my greatest successes, I'd say, in teaching. She's going to college right now. She instructs her own class. I'm very proud of her. For doxing reasons, not going to say her name, but I'm very proud of her. Yeah. And every now and again, she has my personal number because instructors all give their numbers to each other in case you have to call or something. And she'll call me every now and again if she has an issue or needs something she needs to talk to. But her dad always knows. He's always, in the room, or he knows she's calling me for advice, and he's perfectly okay with that. And in that situation, it's kind of a instructor mentor thing. It's not a personal let's hang out and chill. It's just like, hey, I'm going through this point, and we have that kind of back and forth because I have instructed her since she was like 17 and she's 19 now. So I've always kind of been that secondary person, and even asked me instructing advice because I taught, but none of it is like a weird thing. There's no boundaries crossed, She has a boyfriend. She's doing great. She asked me advice because I have a girlfriend. She'll be like, hey, I'm going through this, whatever. But it's never on a level where it's weird or creepy. It's just like life advice. If I can help, I will. And once again, her dad always knows.
Exactly.
I'll hear him in the background going, "Hey, Mr. Cole, how are you?" And I'll be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm doing good." You know, and I've always been funny about that because Taekwondo is another one of those things. You have such a personal relationship. You got to be very careful with parents and their kids.
Yes.
Very, very careful, and very careful what you say and what you teach them, because that is a reflection on you. And for me, Colleen's kind of in that position. You put yourself there. You are marketed to young kids. So you have to conduct yourself
right
in a way, if you are instructing or if you are influencing children, that is a different separation you have to have, because like we're seeing now, anywhere along the line that could be turned against you.
Exactly.
And even someone could look at me calling my student outside of my environment and be like, whoa, but I like to stress, her father always knows. You know what I mean? She came to visit me. Her dad was always there. You know, that boundary is never broken, because I will never put myself in that situation to where you question anything. It's like, nope, parents are there. They know what I'm talking about with their kid. And I gave my advice to help them. This isn't my personal drama. Nothing's about me. It's about them, and they need advice. I give it to them, and then we go about our way. And it's not a habitual thing. With her, it's like an everyday thing.
Right.
Everyday contact. It's fucking weird. It's weird.
Well, and I think it's different too, like when we're talking with like kids and stuff like that. Like I think the dynamics, especially online, are different than, like, for instance, my kids. They obviously have friends and they come to my house and I feed them, I hang out with them, I take care of their injuries if they ever get any injuries while they're here, you know, make sure they take their medicine, make sure I cook according to their allergies and stuff. And I feel like when you have kids in your life that you don't know them, and they're not like for me, my kids all know that when their friends come to my house and they hang out here, I treat them like they're my kid because I love them. But when you're talking to strangers on the internet and you don't know these people, you have no connections with these people. Like my 15-year-old's best friend has been best friends with him since he was in kindergarten, and his mom and I have a friendship too because we've always been around each other. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's different because, you know, we're family. But like when you're talking to these people like Colleen is, it's just so cringe and creepy and gross. And that's the other thing that I was just about to say, Hen, because like there was in Swoop's documentary, she was talking to one of the victims and they were talking about how the parents were involved and they had no idea like what was going on, or like, you know, the parents loved them. And so when, you know, there was like this one person in particular where they didn't tell their parents what happened until years later, and then their parents were like, oh my God, I wish I would have known, like, you know. And it's
yeah, some of that can be ignorant. Like what I did, the parents knew exactly the advice I was given. They were standing there. Now, one could argue at a live show, the parents would be there too, but it's different when you think your kid is engaged in what's going on. So you kind of laugh at, even if you feel uncomfortable, it's like, well, little Johnny or Susie looks like she's having a good time. I brought the tickets. So it's all good. Like you might excuse stuff in your mind until later it comes back like, oh my God, this was really not okay. Like, and look, I've said this too. There is one part I did agree with Colleen. I don't believe on YouTube, or to an extent, some of the live stuff, not all of it, because when you do a live performance, that should be separate. I already got into this See Sunday stream, but long and short of it, I believe there is a separation where parents do need to be more astute and understanding exactly what a creator is putting out and looking at it and going, wait a second, this is not appropriate. Like, you need to be on some level active in your kids' activities. So let's continue, because God, this is a long thing, and I don't want to go into everything. You know what I mean?
Ballinger's
I'm
toxic
sure.
behavior and toxic friendship, where she discussed personal details of her life with him when he was a child.
This slowly turned into me getting private details about her divorce. And what was happening with the relationship with her ex-husband?
But above all, the most shocking thing that Adam said in his video was that Colleen Ballinger sent him a minor lingerie during their friendship and when he was a fan.
In 2016, Colleen and Corey were doing a live stream and they stumbled across my
Oh,
Twitter
oh
account.
yeah,
They
this
found my
live stream
Twitter
is still
so
up
funny
there.
that they said they needed to send me bra and panties that Corey was wearing during the live stream.
Which, as an adult looking at this, anyone can see that that is inappropriate. It doesn't matter if it's a joke. It doesn't matter if it's a mistake. There is no way to interpret that other than completely inappropriate. What had happened was Colleen was opening up
And there's
clothes
the
on
video.
a live stream, had opened up lingerie, was sending things out as giveaways, and decided to send out this lingerie to Adam as a giveaway.
Here are some clips from that live stream.
Oh my god, that makes me laugh. I want to send him something.
And
Do you
her
want the
stupid
bra,
little helper
Adam?
hair, her stupid little helper hair, I would like to know their age because they look fucking young too. So you're doing a live stream, the youngest person next to you, keep in mind she's fucking 30 something at this point, right? They're wearing lingerie on your live stream, which is supposedly supposed to be PG-13, or I don't know whether this was her Colleen account, whatever, who gives a fuck? It's still all inappropriate, right? Because she's got young viewers watching her. So, no, he was not in college when he got this stuff, Monkey Jeeves. He was 3 years younger, so he was about 16, 17, somewhere in there.
I think he was younger than that, actually. I think he was like 14 or 15. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, he was young. Even if I gave her the benefit of the doubt and said 16 or 17, well, that's my daughter's age. I would not want somebody sending a Speedo to my daughter. I will fucking kill them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this is not hyperbole and, bleep, I guess, but I would bleep and kill them. Okay? That is not okay. That if you are an adult, like, you should not be doing that shit with kids. I do not give a fuck. Like, they're 20, 21, then they're an adult. That's the age of consent. Whatever the fuck weird shit you want to do, no kink shame here. But kids, when you're kids, no, nothing like this should ever be sent to children. This shit shouldn't even be fucking streamed. My personal opinion. You should not be streaming this to an audience of younger people to even imply this, because the implication itself is fucking disgusting to me. I'm sorry. I don't know about you, but to me, just the stream itself is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I've done drunken streams. All sorts of crazy stuff, right? I know Hen has done some crazy ass shit. Shout out to Hen. I've seen some of her streams, okay? But we are not marketing to kids. It's all adults watching us. So we can do fucking stupid shit we want to. Yeah, Hen says over here, it's also 16 for consent, which is, and I get that. Some, but see, this is what I'm talking about with YouTube. The YouTube stuff, I kind of get, but at the same time, not everybody's in the UK or different time zones. 90% of her audience, I guarantee you, is based in the US, given where her tours go. So I'm willing to bet you she's got a large base in the US. And to me, an adult in the US is not until 21.
Even though 18 is technically legal.
Yeah, I still don't, like, for me, I told my daughter, you want to do crazy shit?
Do you want the
21, go at it.
Tweet right now.
So I did get sent the lingerie, and immediately whenever it arrived, my parents were furious. They were so angry, and they took it away. And I didn't know if they still had it. And I asked my mom, did she have it? Because she knew I was making this video. So she was looking all morning, but she did find it. So this was what I was sent.
I mean, people said this was used. It was not, but that still doesn't make it any less creepy. Yeah. There was just a rumor she sent used stuff. It wasn't used. It was like brand new, and she was kind of taken back. And the whole thing is, oh, she sent that. So people have heard this. I'm gonna get into the other stuff here. God,
as a 17-year-old, I'm just really disgusted at the situation. Conversation. Oh, no. I remember what happened. We walked up, and whenever I was hugging her, she said, "I'm so sorry I didn't bring your lingerie." Yeah, because in her live stream, she said she wanted to send me her lingerie, and my parents were right behind me, so thanks for that, Colleen.
What? Why? Oh my gosh. How did no one catch this? How did we never know this was happening? While Adam's video initially went viral in 2020, the video was met with a lot of backlash from Colleen Ballinger's fans. And then the controversy died down and was seemingly silenced a few days after Colleen Ballinger released her response video titled Addressing Everything.
Recently, some things have come up that I feel like I need to address, and so I just wanted to sit down and have an honest
another
conversation
classic
with you
addressing
and
video.
address
Love
everything
these.
at once. So let's get started.
Colleen claimed it took her so long to make a response video because she messaged Adam privately.
Someone had made a video saying some shocking and hurtful
I'm
things about me, and a
I'm
lot
sure
of you wanted me to
it
address
went
it.
great, and that's
I
why
didn't
she
address
released
it,
this.
not because I was just ignoring it and hoping it would go away, but because when this person messaged me letting me know they were upset, I responded immediately. I was very shocked and confused.
I'm sure you
I
were.
didn't know what they were talking about.
Because
Your
Colleen has
ukulele
such a larger
solo definitely
following than
proves that.
Adam did, this response video actually worked. And a lot of people bought what Colleen had to say at the time.
Because it was
in
normal
2020.
and she
And
didn't
a
pull out a
lot of
fucking
Colleen's
ukulele.
supporters seemed to have silenced Adam's criticisms, which now Adam claims was just a complete smear campaign by Colleen.
Like my idol, in every sense of the word, was like actively trying to take me down.
And the icing on the cake was Colleen saying in her video, "I care about Adam so much, just like I care about all my fans that I've interacted with over the years. And I wish him nothing but success and happiness and love." I feel like
So the typical YouTuber apology. And then this is something you see, and the people she's aligned with, like that one bitch they mentioned with Shane Dawson, I forget her name, but she's a piece of work too, and very problematic. And I hate using that word, but she is Tanner or something, whoever the fuck. She has her own controversies, and it's a common thread with the standard YouTube apology, right? I wish you all the best of luck. I'm so sorry. And then mysteriously, the person who makes the accusations disappears because their rabid fan base attacks. And they know what they're doing. They come on sympathetic. They know these kids who are quite frankly stupid with their loyalty. And it's not stupid, but they're manipulated. Okay, they're manipulated in such a way that they know these 10 million people, at least a couple thousand of them, are going to go check out the video. They're going to be in such a mindset that this person that they love is being attacked. And of course, they're going to go and downvote the video, leave nasty ass comments and attack. So she knew by even responding what the outcome was going to be. And that's the only reason why she has a level-headed response. It's not she gave a flying fuck about Adam or making any kind of amends. It was to rally the troops and attack this poor kid and try to discredit him before anybody else picked up on it. And it worked because none of us other people knew about it. Nobody else picked up on it because it was being, yes, thank you, Tanya Mangu or whatever the fuck her last name is. Yeah, she's a piece of shit too. So these pieces of shit tend to run together. There's a joke in there somewhere.
if you really cared about Adam so much, you just wouldn't have made a response video. You know that making a response video like this was going to send bullying, hate, harassment Adam's way. Did you really care about Adam so much? Because you knew that he was going to get targeted bullying for years after making this video. On top of all of that, Colleen claimed that the lingerie she sent Adam was just a joke.
The biggest issue that came from his video is that I sent a child underwear, and Wow. Anyone who heard this out of context and was offended, I completely understand because I would be too. 4 years ago, I did a live stream.
Oh, would
and in
you?
this live
Then
stream,
why'd you
I
do
did a
it?
giveaway. I was giving away clothes that were unused, tags still on, brand new, that I had just bought that I did not want. One of the items that was in this box was a really ugly pair of, and then this boy who made this video about me recently, he asked for the. It was so ridiculous and funny. We laughed about it. I sent them to him. He put them on over his clothes and posted about them. It was like a big joke within the fandom.
Okay, explain the joke. Explain.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the joke? Please explain it to me. I'd love to know what you think the joke is here. So ultimately, Adam McIntyre's video was completely overshadowed by Colleen Ballinger's response video. That is until another YouTuber by the name of Cody Rance came forward about their own experience with Colleen Ballinger. And Cody's video
also
ended up
dirty.
backing up many of Adam's initial claims that Colleen was acting inappropriately
Who's
with
also what?
Who's also 30.
Yeah, oh my God,
her
this
child
is.
fans behind the scenes, providing screenshots of messages.
So here's the screenshots right here. At Taco Bell, I'm about to eat 90 brownies. Tell me what move I should make on.
It's an inappropriate.
Yeah, you can see it there. I'm not going to repeat that, but you guys can read that. So like, I don't think we have to say anything. Let's
that
just
show
continue.
Ballinger allegedly talking in a group chat that included both minors and adults. I did not know at the time that there were minors in these group chats. Cody said in their video titled "Why I Left the Colleen Ballinger Fandom." The video has since been privated, but has been re-uploaded and reacted to in other videos that are still live on YouTube. Cody has admitted that they were an adult while participating in these group chats. I should have done the research on this, so I want to apologize to any child who was in these group chats. I should not have been in a group chat with you. While I appreciate Cody for making this video because it did shed light on the fact that Colleen Ballinger and those closest to her have been participating in group chats with fans who are minors and sending very, very inappropriate messages. And I appreciate Cody going public with this information. I do also feel like it's very easy to know when you're talking to a child in a group chat.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very easy to find that information out.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
It's based on the way they talk.
it's all down. Like, if they're saying shit we don't understand, they're probably. If there's these new age, God, I hate to sound like that old guy, but if they're using these newfangled slang, then I know I'm talking to someone who's a bit younger than I. Like, it's pretty fucking evident when you have someone younger in your chats talking to you. And look, once again, it's a context. You're probably going to get, if you create a Discord or you create a chat like most of these people do, you will get younger people who will find their way in. And that is when it's up to you and your moderators and stuff like that to make sure that people who are not of age are not participating in these chats, or to have a subsection that you're constantly cleaning and making sure, like in our Discords, right? We don't have anybody who isn't a part of the fandom, or we got people who are older in our Discord. There is not younger people, because the shit we post and the memes and stuff like that are not for kids. Right. So, and you have to have people like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure Cybernetic Husky is a real cybernetic dog, but he's constantly on that. Yeah. There is nobody I feel safe in his Discord because I know there's nobody else who's going to get in there and be hearing the stuff we're talking about. And you know what I mean? So it's on you as the adult. And she stated it. She has a team. Your team should be going through your chat and making sure that everybody is appropriate. And if you've got younger people, that the conversation is appropriate. And you yourself, even if she was talking to this 30-year-old, should be mindful of who else is in that chat with you. Yep. Especially if you're the fucking leader. And the weird part is her chat was called Colleen Weenies. That's just fucking weird within itself. So I don't buy
it. If you're in a group chat and you don't know the ages of people, you can ask. You can also just find out by the manner in which people are talking. And also, if you're unsure, then you can leave that group chat. If you're in a group chat and there's adults and minors, that's already very, very uncomfortable. Why? Maybe let's just not do that. But it's a whole other thing when you're in a group chat, you're unsure of the ages of the people in that group chat. And then all of a sudden, the topics of the conversations in that group chat becomes very, very inappropriate.
She was literally in DMs talking to children about sex. Are you a
I could tell that person's young. She was like, sex. Okay, no, not to throw shade. I'm just saying that was kind of funny. Just Hen says, I have a young person in my chat that I question the age of because they came across as very young. They are 22, but I still feel protective of her. And that's what normal people do, right? Yeah,
Yeah. I'm running out of time, Zod, just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, we might have to get into this more a little bit later or break this up because I didn't realize how long it was. So, you know what? This seems like a good point to kind of stop and do it to be continued. God, at 9 people. I'm such a tease.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I am off tomorrow. Maybe we can do it same time. So, god damn it. I'm going to have to put The Rise of Narcissism Part 2. This time I'll just put Colleen on there. But yeah, this took so long because I'm kind of tying this together. My dislike for these individuals. I started, if you missed it, I started with Alec Baldwin, who's like the top tier prime example of Hollywood narcissism. Kind of went to Ezra Miller, just fucking crazy, and in his own way narcissistic with the entitlement once again. And now we're on to running almost first place. She'd overtake Alec Baldwin if he didn't have murder over her. Like, that just elevates him to a whole new platform. Yep. But she's pretty bad. To me, she's along the lines, and look, I know this is a moral thing, and I don't know where you land, but to me, harming children is just as bad, if not at the same level of taking a life, because you are taking a life. You are taking somebody's innocence. And that's the thing. They can't get that back. In a sense, you're killing their innocence. You are changing fundamentally how that person looks at the world. Who they could have been will not be the same after they go through trauma like this. And that's why I thought it's important to highlight this. Like, a lot of people are doing this story. My reason for being so attached to it is because I have a daughter. I have a kid. And this is scary. This is scary. These people thrive. And now, what, 3 years later of this kid warning people of her, and now we just pay attention. Yep. And now every big YouTuber is picking up on this. Yeah, we'll get into the weird ant bit. We'll probably have to break this up a little bit, but I'll get to that. I really wanted to go over the whole thing because I think she's putting the events very well. She's got a lot of different clips, different people, a lot of different angles that really dive into how fucking disgusting this whole thing is. And that's what it is. This is disgusting. It's so wrong to me to use your platform for insidious acts.
Yes.
And I know you're not used to Zod throwing out all these big words, but I'm very passionate about this. Like, and you see me, yeah, you see me talking with Johnny Depp. I got that same kind of fire, right? Yep. I don't like abuse of any kind. I don't like physical, verbal, or mental abuse to anybody. It's just being a decent human being. That's why I really hated Amber Heard and all the bullshit she did. I'm not colored by the fact I'm a fan of Johnny Depp. It's just being a decent human being. But what really got me with that was no one listened to him. And we're in the same type of situation here. Adam told people about her. He warned people and tried to bring it out 3 years earlier. But it didn't come back out until... you'll see later, and it took other people for them to listen to someone, and it should not be like that. Yeah, we have a problem of elevating the narcissist and believing them as the victim and downgrading the victims. So you get to this place where now people question every statement that comes out from everybody because you don't know if they're the actual victim or the person perpetrating. That line has become blurred. I blame a lot of that shit on Hollywood. A lot of it.
Yep.
The Me Too movement, I'm sorry, it's good in theory, but a lot of the problems we have now with people believing these things is when you try to say believe all this. You should just believe a victim until proven. I mean, how does it go? Guilty until proven innocent?
I think that the best approach to take when you're dealing with situations like this is it's not believe all victims. It's listen to all victims and investigate the claims. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's if someone's coming out, right, like Adam did, with proof, they have the evidence that they're showing you, and you choose not to believe them, that's different. Like, for instance, Jonathan Majors, what was coming out and still coming out about him, in my mind, is all conjunction. I've not seen a video, audio log, nothing substantial.
Yep.
So in my mind, guilty until proven, or innocent until proven guilty, right? Because you have nothing. You're not coming with me. You're not coming at me with anything. Just, oh, he's hard to work with. Who the fuck in Hollywood isn't?
Right.
He's arrogant on set. Really?
Yeah.
He's abusive on set. Why? What did you say? Was there something you did? What's the story? We don't know. I don't fucking work on a Hollywood set. See, that's what I mean. That's different. But with Colleen's case, he showed you the evidence.
Yeah.
He made the video. He showed you the fucking package. He has the evidence in his hand. He has the old footage of her laughing and sending this stuff, and you still attack the victim, and that's the issue. That's the sad part about this whole thing. Is people attack the victim, they didn't believe them, and now, holy shit, he's right. It's the Me Too movement was great when it was taking Weinstein and Bill Cosby, but everyone jumped on the bandwagon, and that's the point of it, is that when you co-opt, things like that get co-opted eventually, and then the wrong people get behind it, like for instance the gay movement, right? I was there in the 90s. There was this show called HBO Behind the Scenes. They used to do these great documentaries back when HBO didn't have such left-leaning stuff. Never mind, I'm not going to get into the politics of it all. But anyways, they used to do real shit that mattered. They were called True Life Stories. Have you ever heard of this? It was on HBO. It was called True Life Stories, and they did a subject, and it was about somebody's life, and it was like drug abuse, alcoholism, and they did this one that I'll never forget about this gay. I want to say it was a gay. I can't remember if it was a gay woman or a gay guy. It doesn't matter. The ending was still tragic. Now, back in the 90s, the gay community was treated very poorly. If you ever seen like movies like Philadelphia and shit like that, AIDS epidemic, they got a lot of heat. People were beating the shit out of them, calling them horrible names, going so far as to torture their parents and loved ones. This was not acceptable, right?
Yeah.
And in this story, this kid wound up being beat to death by these 4 other kids at their school, and killed them and hid the body. That type of shit is terrible, and it's why we should remember that when dealing with it. But now you get into 2023. You've got the pride trying to go into the preschools, that shit with the drag queen stuff in Austin, Texas, where they had drag your kid into work, and they had kids in there giving the drag queens money. That shit is not okay. But you see what I'm saying? It's been co-opted by this really extreme view, and that's where we lose the message.
Yeah.
You got to just be decent. Just be a fucking decent person, no matter if you're talking about racism, sexism, homophobic type stuff, and people being homophobic. Everything should be handled with a certain amount of investigation and with an amount of care and understanding. Like, I don't say Alec Baldwin's a piece of shit just willy-nilly, okay? I've
Right.
known this for years. I don't say fuck Ezra Miller just out of nowhere. There's video, okay? And I don't say that this bitch is crazy just because.
Yeah,
There's a
I
pattern.
definitely don't draw conclusions based on my own opinions. I draw conclusions based on the facts and the evidence that I see. And so I think it's very important that we don't forget that these are real fucking people. These are real fucking victims that are affected by these monsters. And I think that, you know, that's a good place to kind of end it on, because it's really like, all that matters is, yes, these people are shitty, but what really matters is the effect that they're having on these people that they have affected, and how these people are coping with all of that. And it's very hard because it happens in true crime too. Like, people always talk about like the serial killer, or they always talk about the murderer or whatever, because that's the person that's still alive, and they always forget to talk about the victims. And so I think it's really important that people realize that these people are monsters, and there are real people, children, that are affected by this madness, and nothing's being done about it.
And I think that YouTubers like ourselves, or even people who have somewhat of a respectable following, it is a responsibility for us who have a platform to talk about meaningful situations where there's over-mounting evidence, and that where we can do something to reach, even if it's 10 or 12 people, even if I get like 70 views or whatever, or 100, it doesn't matter. It's important to get the message out there, to make other people aware, to get them involved, to kind of start the trend. Because if you don't do what you can with the voice you're given, then there's no point in having it. And unfortunately, people like Colleen have used that in the wrong way, and they've used it for manipulation and self-gain. And we need to combat that. And we need to do the opposite to expose people like this, because then it also sheds a bad light on us. If we're not doing anything and we know about it, and we're not using our platform to kind of try to help these other victims, then we're no better, because we have the means to say something. And if you're just idly standing by and just watching everybody else react to it, and even if it's out of monetary gain, let's be real, half these channels covering it, they don't give a shit about the story. They're millions of subs.
Yeah.
They're getting monetized for it. But I even take that, because at least it's getting out there. They got millions of people. Whether they're just piling it on, at least it's fucking getting out there. But never lose sight of the people who are traumatized by this, and lose sight about the message that you're trying to send. And on that note, thank you, everybody. I'll be here with part 2 tomorrow of the rise of narcissism. Please, this is very important above most videos that I do. I don't like to push that whole like, share, subscribe, but I truly mean this. Share this video with other people, and I know it's 2 hours, you can skip through, but really look into this, and share this video with other people you know, and let them know about this situation, and start the conversation. I don't even give a shit about traction. I don't get monetized off of this. I just talk about these things because I want them out there. So share this video, and let people know what's going on. Because for me, that's why I did this stream today. That's why me and Jay are up at, God, for me, it's almost noon. For you, it's a little bit later, but I don't get up early just for shits and giggles. I thought this was important. I have since Sunday, when I first put my video out, because it's fucking important to me. Kids are very important. They're the future. And we need to be protecting them. We need to be protecting them from predators like Colleen, Ezra, Alec, all of these people. Don't let your kids be influenced by these monsters. Be aware of the shit that's going on. Be aware of what your kids are watching, and take this shit to heart. This is serious, and this is a person who was on Nickelodeon and all sorts of shit. I'll get into that in part 2 tomorrow. But thank you, everybody, for watching, and I really appreciate you. I know this is a more serious side. I can do serious topics. So if you want another serious conversation, join us tomorrow for part 2, where we'll go through more of the video and give our thoughts and opinions. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you guys so much. And as always, remember the only rule here in the Phantom Zone. Fuck it. Just, you know the deal.